Good morning, Pastor Tony here. I just want to say good morning to you for our Living Water family that is tuning in, and maybe a guest or two that has joined us online. Hopefully you are staying warm and enjoying whatever type of precipitation may be falling at your house or is coming your way. We are recording this ahead of time, just in preparation, and I want to share with you a little bit today. We started our series just a couple of weeks ago on fresh air, just a breath of fresh air, and man, it's been beautiful the last couple of weeks. Started off the year by challenging our church to take a 21-day fast and prayer challenge. I hope you're doing well with that. Started last Sunday. Whatever it is that God laid on your heart to fast from, I pray that you've been doing well with that and that it has not been a chore for you, but it has been more of an opportunity to connect with God. This idea of fasting is not so that we can win God's approval or so that He'll be our genie in a bottle. The idea of fasting, I've mentioned, is about putting that exclamation point, that physical exclamation point on what your prayers are. So hopefully you've been praying and asking God to just reveal Himself to you in your personal life and your family's life. You've been praying for our church, praying for our staff, our leaders, our volunteers. You've been praying for the finances of our church in this new year, praying that we reach new people with the gospel. I really hope you've been a part of that. And if you haven't, maybe you can start today with that challenge. But this series about this fresh air and what the gospel brings into our life and the fresh air that the gospel can breathe into our lives. I enjoyed last week and the recognition that we've got to take time every single day to plug into our relationship with God. And in order to plug into God, we've got to figure out what we've got to unplug from or disconnect from. So hopefully this week you've discovered or started a new pattern in your life of spending the first of every day, whether that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or an hour, whatever it may be, or at some point during the day, you've found a time to connect with God. You've chosen a place, you've chosen a time, and you've started a plan. I started a couple of reading plans this week having to do with fasting and prayer that I've just sort of put into my morning routine of reading the Bible and praying and just getting connected with God. So I pray you've been doing that. I'm not going to really continue with the series this morning, but actually I'm going to sort of say a little bit about it. Because sometimes God gives us a breath of fresh air in ways we don't expect it. I hope you're getting to see beautiful white snow falling down at your place, and it's more than you expected. And I know for me, snow is, and whatever winter precipitation we're experiencing, snow for me is always one of those wash everything clean sort of times. I hope that the snow and the bad weather this weekend is something that wipes all the recent COVID cases away and everyone's able to take time and recover, and when we come back for school, for work, for all the things we'll get back into, I pray that it's just a time that sort of stuff's washed away. More than anything this morning, I'm not going to take a lot of your time, but I would encourage you to take this breath of fresh air that God's put us in, and take time, whether you're fasting, praying, joining us through this series, just starting to connect with God. Take time to just focus on your relationship with God. A snow day at home, if you got children at home, it's a time to play, a time to be busy. Maybe you got to shovel a driveway. Maybe, hopefully, you're not fighting to try to find heat in your house. If you are, contact us, we'll help you. But it always seems like there's this other flurry of busyness every time something new is introduced. Maybe today, make it not about being busy. You still got to eat, you still got to stay warm, you still got to get prepared. But what if today was just about not being busy? In my quiet time this morning, I was reminded of a passage of scripture that you may be familiar with if you grew up in church or been around church much. It's in the book of Luke. Luke, the doctor, recorded this for us. It's a story of Jesus and his disciples visiting a familiar village in a town that he went through multiple times. He had developed some friendships in this town, some really close friendships. Some ladies who had invested in his ministry, a really close friend that had invested in his ministry, and Jesus had stopped by. He stopped by their house, and Luke records it for us in Luke chapter 10. And he says this about verse 38 in Luke chapter 10. It says, "And Jesus and his disciples were on their way. We came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him." This is probably starting to register or ring a bell. A woman named Martha had opened up her home. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. And by the way, they had a brother named Lazarus, which, if you're familiar with stories in the Bible, Lazarus is one that Jesus raised from the dead later on. But he walks into this home where Mary and Martha are there. Martha is being who Martha is, but Mary chooses to sit at the Lord's feet. Now, over the years, I kind of feel like Martha was given a bad rap because Martha's busy and she's preparing the meal and she's making sure everything's taken care of. And if you're that type of personality and people always say, "Wow, you're such a Martha, you need to spend more time with Jesus," you're probably sitting back there going, "Well, if everybody was a Mary, nothing would get done." So we need Marthas. We need people who are in a place to be able to take care of things. But Jesus is trying to make a point, and he's going to do it really well. Because verse 40 says something really interesting about Martha. It says, "But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and she asked, 'Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me.'" Now, again, there is nothing wrong with getting prepared, with making sure things are done. Those are such important things that have to be. But I find it interesting that Dr. Luke, when he wrote this account of Jesus, used the word distracted. Because I think for Martha, it wasn't about being prepared. It wasn't about getting everything done. It's the fact that she was distracted. You can be busy in life. You can be getting things done. But if you are distracted by all of that, and all of that takes you away from Jesus, I think you're missing, well, what Jesus said in verse 41. And I've always had fun with this. In verse 41, it says, "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered. And I can't help but think of the Brady Bunch, where it's Marcia, 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 Marcia. So maybe Jesus said, "Martha, Martha, Martha." Anyway, "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered, "you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed." Or indeed, I love the way this is written, "few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." Listen, Jesus wasn't rebuking Martha for the preparations. I'm pretty confident that Martha was that lady who knew how to cook. She knew how to handle any situation and make the best of it. She knew how to prepare a home. She knew how to take care of the details. And Jesus wasn't rebuking her for that. What he was really saying to her is, "Martha, don't get so distracted. Slow down. Take a breath of fresh air and come sit with me." See, Mary's chosen the most important thing, indeed the one thing that you need to choose. And that's maybe taking a deep breath and sitting yourself with Jesus. Maybe that's what today has provided for all of us. We can't choose how the weather is going to come. We can't choose when we have to make decisions about not meeting together at church. What we can do is choose how we're going to react to it. There's lots of things that need to be done, lots of things that need to happen in your life and my life. My prayer for you today, my hope for you today, is that you'll take some moments, that you won't get distracted. What if this whole idea of fasting and this whole idea of fresh air is not about God doing something for us, but it's about us not being distracted? Breathing in, breathing out the air that Jesus has given us to just sit at his feet. Take some time today, Take some time with your family if you've got family around you, and just don't be distracted. Just sit for a moment. Maybe unload or download something off of YouTube, a worship song or a playlist, or go back and listen to a previous message that we've done here at the church, something that just draws you closer. Don't be distracted, and take a breath of fresh air and enjoy this out of rhythm Sabbath that God has given us, and some time to just sit and be quiet. Enjoy Him today. Take a breath of fresh air and enjoy being with Jesus. I want you to know we love you. Hopefully the weather will pass soon, and we'll get back to our normal schedule. We'll keep you updated. Definitely look on our social media pages, from Facebook to Instagram. We'll send out emails. You can call the church phone, let you know about meeting Wednesday night, what the weather looks like, what the roads look like, whatever it may be. Just be safe. Please do that. And if we can help you in any way, let us know. You can contact us through our email address, hello@mylivingwater.cc. You can text our church phone number, because nobody calls anymore. You can text. It's 828-698-4664. Or you can be real crazy and call that number. And if it goes to a message, somebody will get back to you. If we can help you in any way, let us know. I love you. I'm so proud to get to be a lot of your pastor. And I'm enjoying today. And I hope you are too. Take a breath of fresh air and just be with Jesus. How cool would that be? I love you. God bless you.